Bought a ship when I just joined the Pilots Federation. Cost me 52 grand. I felt so proud when I space legged it to the shipyard and they put the keys in my hand. Do you have keys? I don't. And they only have a small hard point, but that doesn't matter to me. 'Cause she's mine and she blows my mind. She's my beautiful space taxi. I'm a hauler, space baller, talking Peterson about you. It's a mini for the Lance with nothing in his pants, but goddamn it, I love you. My space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah. I tricked it out so it would jump just like a lady. It maxed out at 30.09. One fully laden, its ass was a beautiful thing. No shit, kid, to mess with its lines. Jumped into open for a community goal. Thought I'd raise a buck or two. Some guy called Potter stripped my shield. Oh, what a rider, I'm at 1% as I recharge my friendship. Oh, I'm a hauler, yeah, such a baller. Talking Peterson about you. It's a mini for the Lance with nothing in his pants, but goddamn it, I love you. Yeah, I'm a hauler, such a baller, talking Peterson about you. It's a mini for the Lance with nothing in his pants, but goddamn it, I love you. My space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah. hunter keeps calling my name. Sick of running this trade route to nowhere again. So I charged on my drive, plot a course for far away. Hit the black, oh, I'm free again to fly my way. Too many fights, too many kills, all those plots, all those plans. I'm done hauling those criminals, so tired of their demands. Yeah, the starlight is pulling me closer today. Leave this bubble and his trouble, I'm leaving today. Finding peace with the stars, just me and my thoughts. Finding peace with the stars, the frontier calls. Oh, the darkness feels cold, sometimes frost chills my bones. If I stay near the star, then the warmth it unfolds. Got the rhythm of jumping and checking my way. There's an earth like out there somewhere that'll be mine one day. Yeah. Finding peace with the stars, greenhorn. Feel me. I think the rumors are true. Lucky I found you first. I have you now. There's no escape. Let's get to it. Meal ticket. And I was promised rich pickings. How do you fools make a living? You choose death then. Now you died in a victim. You fight well. This can't be happening. You scratch my paint. I've had worse beating. Dropship circle fast, can't hear my heart a pumping. Frontline is the way, the ship floor opens up. It's time to lock and load, game over, man, wish me some luck. My karma's running fine, I'll hit you every time. This combat zone is back, come take it home. Alpha beating, deadly's calling, grenades at a rockets falling. Commanders, they do the sky, on this day I will die. To destroy, I jump from every rooftop, my rockets are deployed. Call me the Dominator, a combat innovator. I'll be your liquidator, explosive detonator. Reload fast, hear the clip return to blast. Shields are reading magic core, purple fire eating through you. On this day, all will die. Ready pumping, laser fires around, my shields can take a thumping. I'm running low on power, can't find a USB. I'm pressing buttons while the enemy runs over me. Panic starts, breath is loud, vision red, this ain't allowed. I think my pants are falling, apex I'm really calling. Shields are flying, grenades hit, on the fence something is hit. Commanding into the sky, on this day I will die.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite.
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
And the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the sidewinder and hosted by a vending machines technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 530 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in this rather packed orange sidewinder bar for this episode, we have, starting with the Tech Primate in Training, that's the Epathus.
Hello.
We have our other tech primate on probation, that's the Little Biggin, or the Chris Mark V.
Hello.
We've got the Chris Mark IV as well.
Hello.
We also have our SRV Banksy, Commander Alec Tyner.
Oh, it's 8:30 for 5 evening.
You couldn't resist, could you?
No.
Yeah, but you're 2 minutes off, so, you know.
I know,
Yeah,
but it was so
true.
close. So close, let me
And
have
it was like, please let me be last.
We have our head of health and safety, Commander Ed Levice, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward. And finally, last but not least...
Fuck you then, I won't bother saying hi. Piss off!
Wow, that's
Okay.
killed the mood.
Wow.
I'm just wondering... Okay, our staff liaison officer, we have some liaising to do there, I think.
I'm good, thanks.
Commander Psychit, otherwise known as Claire.
Hello.
Are we okay, Ben? Obviously
No,
not.
it's not. 8:35.
Just stalling so you could do it properly. Bastard.
Good Lord.
Oh, God, it's true. So if you wish, you can join us live. The Chris Mark IV is hanging out in Lave Station somewhere. But if you can't get to us in-game, you can also join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat or go straight to twitch.tv/Lave Radio or YouTube/Lave Radio. We're there. So, yes. So let's have a quick... Well, it's not going to be quick, really, is it? We'll go around everybody in the crew and see how they're doing. So doing it in reverse order this time, we'll go for Commander Psychic.
Hi. I'm good. What have I been up to? Not much. I've had a it's been that kind of time where I've had a bit of a weird pain thing going on at the moment. So long story short, there's been a lot of time that has been prone and not being able to sit down at my PC for the periods of time that I have wanted to. Hey, Grand Prix was fun though. It was a nice one on a nice during the waking hours of a normal human in the UK. That was fun. It was a fun one to watch. I enjoyed it. That was a good time. Yeah, I haven't really been up to much. We for some reason we have this habit of putting on a TV show that we've watched, like binging a TV series over and over again. And Chris has just finished Blacklist. I want to say Blacklist. Well, the Blacklist that is up to the end of season 6, which is on Amazon Prime, and I've kind of been watching that vicariously through him. And we've just, I was bored one day and I just put on The Office, the American Office from the beginning. So I think we're on season 7 now of that, because we've been plowing through that pretty quickly. We watch it. This is probably our 6th or 7th playthrough of the entire series. We just sort of like put it on in the background and then go sit on our PCs and play. I love that show. I adore that show more than I could possibly say. So yeah, it's been a lot of like doing comfort things for Claire. In game, in various games, I have been trying. I tried desperately to get the playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 that I was doing with Kremen. I tried to get that completed before like the big final patch dropped, and that dropped today, so we didn't quite get it. So I'm just waiting for some of the mods to update so we can finish that run. And anyway, I'm busy tonight because I can't play because I'm doing this. I've been playing a new game called Blueprints, which is a bit like a puzzle version of Betrayal at the House on the Hill. And you start each day and you put, every time you open a door in this house, you then get to pick out of 3 different rooms what room you're going into. And some of them have secrets and puzzles and safes to open and all of that good stuff. It's like right up my alley. I have a spreadsheet for it because I'm trying to keep things lined up. So yeah, that's a really, really fun game. I highly recommend checking it out. It's had rave reviews. It's between that and what was the other game that I played really recently and we played it all the way through? Split Fiction. Between that and Split Fiction, I think it's going to sweep the board towards the end of the year as far as like, especially as far as like indies are concerned. As far as like Game of the Year and things like that are awarded. It's a very, very good game. In Elite, I'm top 25% of the CG, because I did almost like pretty much a solid 2 whole days just sat in my Corvette, just like idling, waiting for pirates to fly up to me with my limpets ready to pick up their bodies, which I handed in each time, and they're not soup. You'll be pleased to know that's character development or it's laziness. I can't decide which.
What happens if you leave them in your hold for a couple of weeks?
Well, I don't know because they never do anything with them. But we should look at the ones that are on my fleet carrier that have been there for years because they're definitely soup. But yeah, that's been me.
Right. Can we pass on to Apathis, please?
Yep. I've been doing some of the expedition in No Man's Sky, and then pretty much then playing Elite when I've not been doing that, and just sort of been doing pretty much all sorts in Elite, really. I did the bits of the CG, put on my cape, and got at least a few hits on there. I think I'm like top 75 at the moment, and then just working on my system and doing a bit of BGS there and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. Alec, how you been?
Yeah, I've been good. What have I done? So on Friday we went to drove to Hartford to watch Marcus Brigstock do his stand-up show called Vitruvian Mango, which was really funny, actually. I've been listening to Marcus Brigstock on a podcast recently, and we fancied going to see him. So yeah, a good. It's years probably since I've been to a stand-up comedy night, so it's a great laugh. Saturday we went to our local Bill's for breakfast. Bill, which was super nice. They've sort of renovated and completely like reinvented themselves again, and their breakfast, it's jolly expensive, but my god, that's a good breakfast now. Sunday I played actual genuine power wash simulator for real. I got my Karcher out and did my power wash my patio, which is one of those jobs. It's incredibly satisfying. If you've ever used a power washer, you can sort of carve an inch wide line of clean through your grubby patio. Like instantly, it's like literally carving through the dirt. But an inch wide isn't very much, and if you have quite a lot of patio, it takes an awful long time to do the whole thing in inch wide strips. But it's immensely satisfying. I can see why they turned it into a video game. And then in game, I I spent 3 whole days trying to drive my SRV around the outside of AEB City, which is one of these
AEB
giant.
City, what's that?
It's so AEB City in NLTT 10259 is one of these anomalies that colonization has thrown up. So it's one of these giant, large, circular planetary ports, the really big ones, the tier 3 ones. And you know how they have all the kind of, I don't know what they are exactly, they're like props or arms or fingers sticking out all the way around the outside of them. And they normally sort of plunge into the ground. I guess they're like supports for the outer wall or something. But on this particular city, because it's been plonked on top of a mountain, those arms all hang out over the edge. Which then poses the question, can you drive an SRV around the outside by just bouncing across all the arms? Turns out, yes, you can, but it's quite difficult and took me 3 days to get in a clean take. But I'll throw my video into Community Corner because I'm really quite pleased with it. It's one of the
Amazing. I
harder,
look forward to watching that. That's cool.
it's one of the harder things I've done. Yeah, it was a bugger. Also, I mean, I suppose for anyone that gives a shit, apart from me, my PC hasn't come back, so I was also trying to do that on a PC that wasn't behaving itself. And also because I was trying to make a video, trying not to make it coincide with one of the 5 past the hour stutters, which would ruin my video. So yeah, quite challenging.
Oh
I've built
no.
myself a Corsair, or started to build myself a Corsair. More on that later, maybe. But I haven't done much with it yet because I haven't finished building it. But I don't hate it. And then today I did a bit of bounty hunting because I fancied getting that kill warrant scanner. But it was a real cape wearing brief dash into Daaaaaaan to kill about 5 pirates.
The bare minimum job done kind of thing.
Bare minimum job done. So I am definitely not top 25%.
Wild.
That's my week.
Amazing. Who have we got? Ben, how's your week been?
Busy with real life again. The only bit of gaming I've done is finally, and I literally did this after work today, finally finishing Horizon Forbidden West. And yeah, I enjoyed the expansion as much as I enjoyed the main game, and I was impressed at how chunky it was. I was expecting just, okay, we'll chuck on an extra couple of hours. And yeah, no, it's actually more like a few days worth of content, at least for me. So I was quite pleased about that. Real life, I went to see the Minecraft movie, and I actually quite enjoyed it. We did have some kids throwing popcorn and things like that, but they weren't overly intrusive, as it were. I'm not going to say it was in good taste, but they weren't obnoxious with it either. They were just kids at the cinema having fun, which, given how dead cinemas have been, I'm okay with kids going there and having fun. Apart from that, the only thing I've really been doing is, I started watching the new series of Black Mirror, and I've been loving that.
Okay.
That's really been about it.
Cool. Chris 4, how you doing? Chris 4.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I've been distracted. I am playing peekaboo with Commander Rusty Swords, who's floating outside the bar. Right. What have I been up to? So out of game, few different bits and pieces. Sort of work's getting busier again. All that sort of boring stuff. Last week after the program on Wednesday night, I went through to Glasgow and I met up with our chief bar steward. I met up with Grant, which was really nice. Psycho Cow, and hung out for a bit at a very cool burger place through in Glasgow, which was ridiculously good burgers. So if you're through in Glasgow, Smoky Trotter's Kitchen, can highly recommend that. If you're going to a gig near Barrowlands or St Luke's or somewhere around about there, then you'd be able to go there before the show. Really, really good. What else did I get up to? In game, I have been taking part in the CG. So I donned cape, flew towards CG, killed pirate /S, and then handed in my bounties. I have still not finished my tourist settlement. I got distracted by shiny objects and other things going on, so I ended up not completing my tourist settlement yet. Despite the fact it's not got very far to go. I think I'm on to delivering my steel and a few other bits and pieces in order to finish it off. So I've still got that to do. And also made a little start into the latest No Man's Sky expedition. So looking forward to doing a little bit more of that.
Nice. Nice. It's a good expedition. It really is. I should say, before I move on to ask my husband how his week's been, I should say Colin's had to pop off for a little minute. We hope he comes back, but emergencies as they are. So hi, welcome to Lave Radio. Chris 5, how has your week been?
Well, it's only Tuesday, and it's been a lot. So, what things happened? Over the weekend, Claire pretty much took my computer apart and put the motherboard and everything else into the one that my massive ham hands can't fit into, because my computer, after I upgraded the GPU, was slowly cooking itself to death, so we had to swap it all around. So now the CPU is going from idling at 60 to 70 degrees to idling at 40 degrees. So that's nice. Other than that, I haven't played much, to be honest. Yeah, because I was just waiting to get bits to fix my computer, so I've still got to finish off my science outpost. I did finish off my agricultural space farm called Whale Terminal, I think.
Nice.
Or something like that. And I haven't landed to check to see if the reverting of the economy stuff has happened at my port yet.
What was yours? One of the ones which you're sort of like taking over, is that right? Or
Yes.
was that a couple of weeks ago? Or was it? I can't remember.
About a week ago they fixed it, but they said it'll take up to 2 weeks to go through.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it's the one where, because I had a ground port that was on a high metal world with a refinery hub next to it, the planet was generating an extraction of economy of something like 1.16, but the hub was only producing refinery economy of like 0.3. So even though I had a refinery hub there, in pre-April the 3rd, that would have resulted in a colony refinery hybrid economy. It actually ended up with a refinery extraction hybrid, with extraction being the bigger one, because that was coming from the planet, which was weighted higher, which sucked because it meant potentially planets with only 3 slots, once you put a ground port in, would have been useless, unless you wanted refinery or whatever your planet was giving you. So I wait to see if it's changed.
Okay. Oh well. That's a week. I'd forgotten completely that I put your computer together. It was so stressful. I'd totally forgotten that I'd done that. Cool. Right. Have I missed anyone? I haven't missed anyone, have I? Just cool. Good. I'm going to take your lack of argument with a no. We're good. Okay. Right. Development. Let's move on to the development news then and see what the old devs have said this week, which isn't a lot. To be completely honest, the with the exception of the CG has had 2 additional tiers added. That came in, and an additional the additional kill warrant scanner was added to the prize pool.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were, what the rewards were,
Oh, do you
until
mean
this message came out.
because as well as the KWS, there's some paint jobs as well, I think, aren't there?
Is there?
So
I think so. I've
That's
barely read it.
exciting.
I only wanted
I look forward to
KWS.
getting my. I look forward to getting that. That's great. Love it. Love a free paint job. Absolutely love it.
What I'm curious about, I really ought to look
mm.
this up, is why I thought the original award was for an A-rated KWS,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they
but maybe I'm
added-
wrong.
No, so you get the A, and they've also added a C because I believe the A was just the power draw on it was a bit much.
Oh, because it's almost like they
Yeah.
added a C, like that was a good thing, and I was thinking, why is a C a good thing? But you're saying there is a reason why a C is a good
Yeah,
thing.
power go. Brrr.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd
Good to know.
activate your kill warrant scanner, and then your ship would just shut down.
Was it a big? I don't use a kill warrant scanner very often. But was it a large amount then?
I think so. It's a pre-engineered, like I think long range and fast scan maybe. So it just ate all the power.
Fast scan is really good because, yeah, so I use the KWS all the time. I like bounty hunting, and I really like the idea of the kill warrant scanner. And I fought hard for it when years ago when Sandro Samarco was talking about phasing it out or effectively making it useless. It's one of the few forum fights that I feel like I won. I mean, I'm not claiming
Right.
it was purely me, but I really fought for that bastard. And they eventually managed to make the KWS do what it did originally, which was pull in all the bounties from other systems as well as the one you're in. But yeah, the thing is, particularly if you're in a resource extraction site where there's lots of cops around, you have to be quite quick, otherwise the cops finish off the bad guys before you get to them.
Right.
And so having a fast kill warrant scanner is really quite important there, because it means you can get the KWSN, which gets you all your extra bounties before you start shooting, and it means you actually stand a chance of doing the scan and getting some shots in before the cops have finished the guy off.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's good.
Again, the amount of stuff that I don't really use in Elite, and maybe I should broaden my horizons and do and use a bit more.
You know, there's
of
loads of
certain
things I haven't used. We could do a whole show on things we've never used.
Bench it, Alec. We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do it. What I do want to touch on, which I did miss earlier, is that we did see the high weights news, and we just wanted to say from Lave Radio, we're wishing you all the best, mate, and we'll see you when you get back, and we're thinking about you. But with regard to the rest of the community news, let's move over on to Community Corner.
And now, to the Community Coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
It's good this week. I'm mostly going to let Just About do it all for me. But before we get to that, first up is a thing. There's probably been more of these, but all the kind of visualizations I've seen of colonization progress so far, I've sort of either not understood the tool properly, or just not really been able to see the grand visualization of the expanding bubble. Whereas this one works brilliantly. It's do you know, I don't even know really who it's by. I suppose I should have looked that up. We've got the URL. It's nanastoll.github.io ed colonization map. It's a really simple site. So basically, you've got a big slider at the bottom, which I think is the number of days since colonization began. So you can drag the slider to the right, and the further you drag it, the more little dots appear on the galaxy map that it's showing you. It's sort of focused on Sol by default. So if you slide it all the way to the right, you can see where colonization has got so far. Are we showing this on stream? We are. Lovely. Um, I should do a bit more research into what you can see all these different trails coming off the bubble. What I really like, if people can see this, is there's a very long, thin trail that goes off down to the bottom right. That is the Distant Worlds Shoulder of Orion expedition strand. What I find really interesting is there's all these sort of tendrils of colonization coming off the bubble, and they all seem incredibly inefficient. Like they're all quite wide and spiky. I guess it's loads of people in a fairly uncoordinated bid to head for nebula and things. Whereas the the Distant Worlds 3 Shoulder of Orion strand is like 1 pixel wide and heads off very purposefully in a very specific direction, and that's what happens when you have really good coordination.
It's
And
really
man,
cool, isn't it?
it is super cool. And man, they
It's
are
almost
going.
biological, isn't it?
It's yeah. And in fact, somebody else there's a video which we'll also include in the show notes by Enders called Elite Dangerous Trailblazers 2 Update 2-month system colonization time lapse. And it's basically a time lapse of slowly moving the slider to the right and seeing the bubble grow. So you can kind of do that for yourself. But anyway, it's a nice time lapse as well if you just want to see it growing organically.
There's some
And I
bits
guess the
there
great
that are
thing
a lot
about
more.
sorry, go for it.
I was going to say there's some bits there that are a lot more spread out than I thought they would be. I thought it would be a lot of sort of very thin threads
Yeah.
going off, but
Yeah, that's what I was saying. My guess is that that's, as I said, my guess is that that's a kind of uncoordinated rush of people trying to get to a nebula or something, and just sort of, or like there's one going south, which is very wide and lumpy, and maybe that's just people just going south with no particular goal in mind. And
Isn't that
yeah,
Pleiades way?
yeah, maybe
I think that might be what that is.
it's quite. Yeah, it's quite random. I need to explore it a bit more. You can, although it starts off centered on Sol, you can type in a system name as well. So you can sort of work backwards, I guess, to figure out what some of these are. I dare say one of the canon, at least one of these is probably canon reaching out for
100%, absolutely.
pole stars and things like that. But yeah, good. It's really fun visualization. Actually, I sort of done these the wrong way around. But speaking of the Shoulder of Orion, Distant Worlds 3 colonization progress, there's a really nice infographic that I think Cohen Leth published on the forum. I don't know if it originated with Cohen, but Cohen published it on the forum. Yeah, and it just it's sort of got a graphic which is very similar to what we've just seen on that visualization, going from March 30th down to April the 11th, with some interesting stats, I guess. So there are 372 registered truckers, architects, and fleet carrier commanders. There are 247,668 tons of hauling capacity. 124 systems colonized so far. Wow, that's quite a lot. 50 carriers worth of commodities donated to the initiative, and 20. Okay, this is the one I really like. 22 minutes on average per outpost on the first day. The quickest construction was completed in less than 2 minutes.
That is. I was going to say that's insane. That is your standard elite dangerous people when they put their mind to doing something.
Yeah, I mean,
That's wild.
372 registered fleet carrier commanders and architects. So yeah, if 300 odd people decide to focus on one outpost, you can get it built in 2 minutes.
You think we can get them to work on HS2 for us as well?
I wonder who the
Good point.
I wonder who the controlling faction is. Not enough to care, not actually ask, but like if somebody's managing the BGS of that controlling faction, and because it's obviously been built from each one going on and branching out, and then over the course of a month, they see 124 new systems. Yikes!
Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing all sorts of terrifying things about BGS, like from loose screws who are into their BGS, and they used to have bookmarks for all their systems and things, but it's gone from like 60
yeah, you can't do that now.
200. But yeah, Right, let's carry on. Yes, so I think we kind of shouted out a colonization construction tool last week that let you keep track of commodities you need to deliver to your various projects. I also mentioned at the same time that there was an update to the journal which gave more information. I think in particular when you land at your construction site, the journal spits out the totals of what you need to deliver to finish it. So on the back of that, we're seeing a whole load of new third-party apps that are doing construction. So you can pick your favorite now. There's the one I mentioned last week. There's the big spreadsheet that we mentioned a couple of weeks ago. Elite Dangerous FR, they have their own construction tool on the Elite Dangerous FR website under Tools. And we'll also include in the show note a nice Reddit post which kind of explains that a little bit more. But it's the usual thing. I think you put in your system and now it knows what you need to deliver and can keep track of it and keep track of as and when you make deliveries. And yeah. There's Razafrag has also now built in a colonization progress tracker into ED Copilot. And we'll include in the show notes a link to the wiki page. This is great, this wiki page, but you know, ED Copilot's got a gazillion features, and it's really nice to see them all being documented slowly over time in this new wiki. But yeah, so there's choose your favorite third-party app, basically. ED Copilot, Elite Dangerous FR, whatever. They're all
Nicey's done one. There's loads of them.
Yeah, SRV survey that we mentioned, I think last week. Loads of them. So pick your favorite. Right. Yes. Okay. So I've thrown this in. This is a review of the Corsair by Commander Eagle 131. It's a brilliant video in its own right. I really recommend giving it a watch. Commander Eagle 131 is, I think, very active in the Burr Pit, if I remember rightly, but also a member of the Newton's Gambit flight assist off guy. So he's a permanent, sort of 100% of the time flight assist off pilot. So he's reviewing the Corsair predominantly from that point of view. It's a really good review of the Corsair, but it's also a really interesting insight into the world of flight assist off. He talks very eloquently about flying flight assist off, and you get a real, I don't know, I love watching experts talk about what they do in a sort of nice casual but expert way. Yeah, I found it really engaging. So it's a good watch. I'm also going to, like I said, I have got my Corsair now, and I'm really enjoying the ship. In a general sense, I'm really intrigued by it. Its looks divide opinion, and I always liked the beak. I think I mentioned it gave it character, and it really sounds like the ship and its flight characteristics are dividing people. I like it. It's complicated. I think or not. Maybe that's the wrong word, but it's a complex ship, and if you do the right things with it, it sounds like it's great. There's a lot of expectation with the ship. There's a lot of maybe not appreciating that it's actually a really big ship. The Loose Screws in particular, I'm going to recommend listening to their podcast last week because they did a brilliant breakdown of the Corsair. And one of the things that really struck me was the whole thing with Corsair's maximum speed of like 600, even if you put 7A thrusters on it, is the whole thing of a ship having like this thrusters being built around the idea of a minimum mass thing. And the great thing about Corsair is that although it won't go above 600, even if you put the 7As on it, you can fill all of its module space with stuff. You can put loads of stuff on it and it will still go 600. You know, those engines, particularly the 7As, I guess, will happily push a really heavily loaded Corsair to 600 meters a second. So you can put your biggest guns on it, and you can put all your, you can fill all your modules with big, heavy kill warrant scanners and whatever you like, and it still performs. So yeah, I'm growing to love the Corsair. I'm definitely going to give it a really proper go. But I love that it's dividing opinions so much. It's an interesting ship. It's definitely not a dull ship. Right, next up was a nice video that got recommended to me from Rocky Star, actually, although I kind of had it on my shortlist, but the recommendation made me watch it. It's called Why Play Elite Dangerous? A Comparison of Space Games by Zarian. I'll just read the description of that. I have played a lot of space games, some of which aren't even mentioned here. While I might talk about some of these with a slight tongue-in-cheek approach, I do like many of them, but Elite Dangerous scratches that space itch like no other game can. They do admit to using an AI voiceover, but the script and the ideas in the video are their own. Yeah, just on a general point, I don't know. I mean, it's not for me to say one way or the other, but I do find, even with the AI voiceover, that I start to switch off a little bit and not entirely believe what I'm being told. But I love the fact that the script and the ideas are their own, and I have to keep reminding myself that it's good. It's a really good, broad review of loads of space games and what's good about them and what's not good about them. And it's a good watch. Few more things. Yes, Commander Exorcist released just today or yesterday, I think. A kind of companion to. They did a really good breakdown of the galaxy map about a month ago, basically going through every single icon down the left and right hand side of the galaxy map and what they do and what sort of information they show. And this is a companion piece to that, going into the system map. Exactly the same approach, going through every single icon and every bit of information on the screen and telling you what it is. And it's a good watch, even if you think you know the galaxy map and the system map. These are they're not that long, they're about 5 or 6 minutes each, and there's definitely stuff in there that you probably didn't know. Last of all, I just threw this in because I expect people might be curious now, but it's the video of me driving around AEB City. And forget that I said it took me 3 days. I don't want to spoil it. It was dead easy.
Dead easy. Absolutely smashed it, mate.
Knock this out in half an hour, no problem. I don't want to ruin the magic.
Did you cover 0.5? I feel like you missed 0.5 on our list here.
Jesus Christ, I missed the biggest one of the lot. Thank you, Psychic.
That's all right, mate.
I completely missed it. 0.5 is just about This Is My Elite Dangerous. So I'm doing very badly with this particular bonus from Just About. So a couple of weeks ago, I announced that for some reason none of the videos had come out, and then Claire was kind enough to point out that there was a stipulation in the rules that they all be released within a little window. So that window is now open. So loads and loads and loads of videos are dropping, all entitled This Is My Elite Dangerous, all around about the 3.5 minute mark. They're brilliant. There's no way I'm linking them all. We'll just include the link to the reward. I'm working my way through them. I've watched about 9 of them so far. They're really good. They're all really good. I couldn't possibly single one out, but they're definitely worth a watch. And I guess there's more coming. I really wish I'd done one myself now, but I think I've probably run out of time.
It's open until Monday.
Yeah.
I believe. So if you're free during the Easter break and you want to quickly chuck up a 3-minute video about your Elite Dangerous experience, I've been talking to a couple of people about this, and there's been a few of us who have been like, I really want to enter, but I've got full writer's block about it, and like, how do I condense like thousands of hours into a 3 to 6 minutes, but 3-minute section? And
I mean, I don't want to encourage plagiarism, obviously, but actually watching a few of these might give you a little bit of inspiration, at least an
probably.
idea, because there are different approaches to it. Some people have narrated it, some people have focused on a story, some people have done your classic montage. Yeah, there's some good inspiration in there. And I would say, like I say, I've watched about 9. I think last time I looked, there was about a dozen, so I've got about 3 more to watch. There are 50 $120 prizes up for grabs. So I'm not saying throw any old 3 minutes of shit together, but if you do, and it's half decent, you might win quite a lot of money. So
Yeah.
no, actually, let me spin that a different way. Don't be put off and feel you have to submit a masterpiece. if you have a little bit of video and are able
You want to talk about how much you love Elite Dangerous over it?
talk about how much you love Elite Dangerous for 3 minutes, you don't have to be Martin Scorsese. Knock it out there, and I think you might be pleasantly surprised.
Amazing. Yeah, okay, all right, I hear you, Alex. Sure, whatever. If you have a community event taking place soon and you would like us to shout about it across the airwaves, do like what Rocky did and let Alex know about something, or tweet us at us on Blue Sky, our email info@laveradio.com. We're at Lave Radio pretty much everywhere, so that's the thing. So do that, or Alec will just find you because he finds amazing stuff about Elite. I love this section, it's great. Okay, let's talk about the in-game events, shall we? What has happened this week? In-game events, not so much, and we've pretty much talked about it already. That we have the increased security needed in the Daaaaaaan system. Is that how it's pronounced? Just Dan, or is it something else?
I've heard people saying Daaaaaaan, which I quite like the sound of. I don't know if it's right or not, but I do like Daaaaaaan.
I'm gonna say they're wrong.
It's Dan.
Dan.
It's just Dan.
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 Dun. Oh God. Anyway, so the CG happened, and then they have it was killing stuff. So commanders did what commanders do and killed a lot of stuff. And then on Monday, it hadn't quite finished, so they were able to add some more tiers to it, which is great. But that's all for Galnet this week.
I like that this has that extra line about what is it? Guatemala analysis. Guatemala analysts have arrived in the system to track the performance of the Corsair. I suppose it's just a big fat hint saying, "Take your Corsair, guys. This is the place for you.
Take your Corsair out, lads." But it's a multi-role. It's not a fighter. It's a multi-role.
Clues in the name.
Which is what I said a lot of time over the last couple of days when I was flying it around. Well, when I wasn't flying it around, I was killing everything in my Corvette. But why would I take a Corsair? Because the Corsair's a multi-role and it's a bounty hunting thing. Never mind. This is my shoulder, my chip on my shoulder about it. Hey, shall we do some power play rankings?
Okay.
Yes.
In 12, we have Torval, who gained 5 systems and is now on 469. In 11, we have Winters, who has gained 4 systems and is now on 522. In 10, we have Delane, who has gained 1 system and is on 631. Everybody ready for this? Everybody ready? In 9... having lost 16 systems. This isn't my knowledge. This is, I should say that Apaphis has just updated this. So if this is wrong, this is on Apaphis. We have Betrayus on 600. You're welcome, on 636. Gaining 3 systems, Kane has 652. At 7, we have Antel, who has gained 1. Archer's lost 2 systems, 755. Lee Yong Rui has gained 8 systems in 5 with 842. Yuri Grom has gained 2 systems, has 1,029 total. Arissa has gained 5 systems. She is now up to 1,352. Ashling has gained 6 systems, now at 1,425. Mahon, him is still at number 1, having gained 2 systems with a total of 1,451. But, friends, those are your power play rankings this week. But we've had a move!
Amazing.
And Colin's not here!
Can't believe you missed it. This isn't going to happen again for 6 months.
It genuinely won't happen for 6 months now. Our closest... Oh, let's have a look. What was How was portrayed? I don't know. I don't know. Looking at strongholds, it's pretty much like I know there are complaints that maybe we should be doing it as strongholds, but when Frontier in the power play rankings change it to strongholds, maybe we'll change it to strongholds. But at the moment, it bases it on the total, so that's what we will do it on. So yeah, that's where we are. Wow, wild, losing 16 systems. What did they do? What happened?
You know, you were asking earlier what the distant world shoulder of Orion, what faction it is. I bet maybe they've all buggered off to do that.
Maybe.
Maybe that's where all the Betrayers fans have gone.
Maybe the Venn diagram of Betrayers supporters and distant world supporters is like a circle. Maybe that's all that it is. Wild.
Do we think Delane, would it be Delane and Betrayers next? Because that's, I mean, if they
Or
drop another
maybe.
16, I mean, they did 16 in a week here. If they drop another, if they drop even half of that, they'd be below Delane again.
I love us talking like. True, I love it. Like we're talking like we're talking like sports pundits about a thing that we know just about enough that we do the weeklies when we can be bothered. Very interesting.
It's a game of 12 sides.
CG last week.
Sorry?
Didn't he lose the CG last week?
He lost the
'Cause that was
CG and
two
therefore
power player.
lost 16 systems.
Unless last week's numbers were wrong.
You know what? I don't think so. I don't think they were.
I don't know where they went.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll find them down back of the sofa. It's not a problem. We'll find those systems again. That's a really bad joke. Hey, it's that time of the week again.
Store alert!
In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert. Which one will you buy? A store alert, 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 a store alert. Which one will you buy?
Okay. Well, on the theme of Frontier are continuing with their theme of putting things that are red and blue on sale. And this time we're moving on to the Pulse skins for pretty much everything.
It's a lot. It does.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like everything. So the Pulse packs for pretty much everything in both red and green. If you fancy having a glowing ship, why can I not see a Corvette on this? Because is there not a Pulse skin for a
Because
Corvette?
I picked the first blue and the first green I found.
No. I'm looking at the sale. I'm
Oh,
not looking
yeah.
at your. I can't see a Corvette in there. Is there not a Pulse
no
skin for a
Corvette.
Corvette?
Might not be.
It's quite cool, isn't it? It reminds me a bit of Tron. You know what I mean? Tron stuff.
I think it looks nice
Yeah,
on the SRVs.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
looks
there's
so
cool
cool in
rims.
the SRV. Yeah.
But I don't think it's on the Scarab, is it?
No, I think I think they just have them on the Scorpion because they did them before the Scarab came out. The Pulse packs.
There is a
Type
is
7
No,
is
there's a
very
glowing
kind
one
of
for the
Tron
Scarab.
circuit board like, actually.
There is a glowing for the Scarab.
Yeah, because I've got the glow one on there. Are you thinking of the Scorpion?
Scorpion, yeah, we don't
Scorpion,
know.
yeah,
If
sorry, the other way around.
Yeah.
Gee, make them both S words. That really helps. Oh my gosh. Why am I looking at fleet carriers? I'm trying to see if there's a it's
Yeah, I'm not seeing one for the vet.
Yeah, I don't think there is one for the vet. Judas. I'll get over it. It's another reason. Here we go. Let's add to another chip on Claire's shoulder and move on from there. That's it for the store alert. We don't have anything else, and there's nothing else new in the store, right?
No, probably. How long have you got to buy your lantern light bobbleheads? Must be a couple more weeks now.
20 minutes. Yeah.
I bought it.
6th of May it finishes.
Okay.
Lantern
Has
Light.
anyone else got the Lantern Light bobblehead?
No.
Yep.
Right. Because I had to buy it. I thought I love it.
Mhm.
And what I like is much like the station itself. It was almost immediately intensely annoying, and I might have to take it off again.
That's why I didn't buy it. That's legitimate. Because I was like, that is going to be so distracting.
It is. It really is.
Alec, you know what you need to do?
Go on.
You need one on every single slot.
Well, I have seen that. A couple of guys in Buckyball have done that. It looks insane, and
Yeah.
I don't think you could fly with it. It's just so distracting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I did that for a bit and I've reduced it down to 1 now.
Oh, I'll tell you what, while we're on Staller, I'll tell you one other thing I did, because I said on last week's show that I wasn't going to do it categorically. I did buy the Chrome skin for my Corsair.
Oh, okay. I haven't bought it yet, but I am still looking at that pink one.
Shiny.
Do I
Very
need
shiny.
it? Do I need it? Do I need that pink skin? Do I need a skin for a ship that I'm very likely to barely fly ever? Do I need it, or do I need to wait for it to come in the sale? That's a big
There is
question.
need and there is want.
Those are two different words that mean different things. Absolutely.
And get him with his big patio and his chrome Corsair. Oof.
Amazing.
Living the life of Riley, isn't he? Bloody hell.
Wild, absolutely wild. Right,
Cop.
okay.
You missed out going to Bill's as well for breakfast. You know, that's like high end.
You know,
bloody
I
hell.
heard it, Alex. I heard it.
Should we just mention that somebody thinking about making their own Kraken?
Yeah, because it's tasty.
So what we'll do is we will take a few minutes, run a few ads, and when we come back, we'll have a bit more of a chat, shall we? Listen here, ladies. While your man is out and about bringing home the bacon, you need to make sure you look your best, which is why we present to you our Lady Shave. It's small enough to fit into your dainty lady hands and releases a perfumed scent as you cut away that ghastly body hair.
Listen here, ladies. Say no to substandard shaving. At Saracen, we believe a woman deserves a shave as good as a man's. Introducing the Panther Clipper for women. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. And now, it's available in pink. A shade so smooth you'll need a tighter Dominator suit. The new Panther Clipper Lady Shave from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for. In pink.
Hey Commanders, this is Mick from Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. Due to a hysterical ordering mishap and not reading the fine print, I'm currently in possession of over 10,000 snakes. Many of which are deadly, so everything must go. We have anacondas, asps, cobras, diamondbacks, fodlans, keelback, crates, mambas, pythons, sidewinders and vipers, none of which are capable of spaceflight without being strapped to a rocket. Need a pet for your cockpit? Buy a snake. Need to scare your mother-in-law and give her a heart attack for the insurance money? Buy a snake. Need to fill a beluga full of snakes to assassinate a witness on their way to a Federation courthouse? Buy many snakes. Bulk discounts are available at Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. You can find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us at the former site of Sensible Michael's Shipyard and Outfitting Warehouse. Will somebody get these mother snakes out of my mother warehouse?
The Federal Navy. We want you for Adventures Unlimited.
Just last week I was mixing sidewinder slammers at a seedy space bar. I wasn't even pilot registered. And now I have a ship and a basic starting mission for the Federal Navy.
Owing to recent actions in the Lave region, the Federal Navy now seeks to recruit another 1,000 entry-level pilots. We need you to add your strength to our military machine.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
We have missions for all pilots, regardless of combat experience or flight hours. Come and talk to us and we'll get you on the military ladder. Join the Federal Navy. Make a real pilot of yourself, or die trying.
Wait, what's that? Is that a ship coming? Are they looking for me? What do they?
Choose life, choose a ship, choose a career, choose a cargo, choose a fucking big ship, choose palladium, gold and electrical tin openers. Choose good health, low cholesterol and ship insurance, choose fixed interest loan repayments, choose a space station, choose your friends. Choose leisure wear and matching luggage, choose a paint job and hire purchase in a range of fucking colours. Choose decals, exploration, and wondering where the f*** you are on a Sunday morning. Choose sitting in that chair, running mind-numbing, spirit-crushing trade routes, stuffing f***ing junk food in your mouth. And choose rotting away at the end of it all, pissing your last in the void with no one out there to hear you, bury or do anything as you drift away in cold space. Until some comes along to steal your ship, your cargo, and your clothes, leaving your bones floating out in space. Choose your future. Choose life. But why would I want to do a thing like that? I choose not to choose life. I chose something else. And the reasons? There are no reasons. Who needs reasons when you've got onion heads?
And welcome back. Cool. Right then. I thought we could start because we haven't had a catch up with the Chris Collective for a little while. And I was just, and also Alec hadn't flown the Corsair this time last week very much, well, at all, when we were talking about it. So, my opinion hasn't changed. I should make sure I'll make that clear from the beginning. My bullet pointed list that I read out last week still stands. I haven't changed my thoughts about it. I also haven't had an opportunity to check to fly it again because I didn't want to. But that's just me. Let's go, Chris. You've flown it a little bit, haven't you?
I've flown it a little bit. I did a little bit of a test flight. I have not been out in it a lot yet. My plan was to get it ready to go off and do the CG, but then I got impatient and wanted to go off and do the CG, so off I went. It's I kind of follow some of what you guys were saying last week on the program, but I kind of liked flying it. I think it looks.
You're allowed to like it. Don't be apologetic.
Sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you confident?
We have different opinions, and that's why.
I quite like flying it. I do have a problem with it having the turning circle of a double-decker bus. It's not quite as swoopy around about, like if you're flying it around asteroids and stuff. I would rather it had a bit of a tighter turning circle at speed. But I think it looks good. I maintain my original argument, which is the paint job that they demoed it in, the blue sort of paint job, the stock paint job, is not the best paint job. I prefer
paint job.
Goldie. I prefer the Goldie type one. I'm sorry.
I'm the exact opposite to that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's I kind of like the other paint job and stuff. But yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. I'm gonna need to. I think it needs engineering. If I'm gonna flag downsides on it, I think it definitely needs engineering. And I am so lazy when it comes to engineering.
Yeah.
So I will get there eventually. It'll take me about 2 years to engineer it, and then I'll have forgotten and moved on to a completely different ship already.
I look forward to asking you in
2 years' time.
2 years' time once we're on the next ship. I'm going, hey, why would you? How are you finding the Corsair now? And you'd be like, well, actually,
The what?
Yeah. Actually, I've got off it now.
Chris 5 and Paphos, have either of you had an opportunity to fly it? I'm pretty sure the answer is no.
I have not, just because of computer stuff. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Paphos?
I've not, because I don't like the cockpit view. It's the reason I don't fly the Korea that much. Is I
My guy.
don't like it.
I knew I liked you. Well, let's see what Alex thinks about it.
Yeah, I haven't flown it a lot yet. I feel like I came to it with different expectations than I would have done 2 weeks ago or whenever. So I think in my head I was definitely thinking that it was quite a big ship. It was, it wasn't. I didn't expect to throw it around, and so I wasn't bothered that I couldn't throw it around. I did do a little bit of flight assist off in the video that I mentioned up in Community Corner. One of
Yeah.
the things that Eagle 131 did is he took it for a trench run where you basically use flight assist off and you go through the trenches around the edges of a Coriolis. I did that. That's quite fun. It's quite big, and its rear engines, its nacelles can get a bit caught, but it does. If you've ever played around with flight assist off, you're trying to learn, you don't necessarily want a ship that's too twitchy, because then you just end up oscillating wildly backwards and forwards, constantly overcorrecting. And it's quite a fun ship to fly FA off, because it moves just the right amount. I quite enjoyed doing that with it. The cockpit view's a really interesting one. I like the Imperial Courier's cockpit, but it doesn't feel right for a big ship, for a bigger ship like this. I can imagine. And this is a point that you raised really well, I thought, last week, Claire, about I loved the Python 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this ship is probably better than the Python 1 in almost all regards, at least on paper. And if I were to kind of rebuild my home ship, which is what the Python 1 was, I think I'd quite enjoy it. But I also completely get what you mean about having done your time. I'm not sure I'm going to go back to something like that. And the cockpit view would spoil it because, this might be contentious, but I really enjoyed being in the Python 1 cockpit. It felt roomy. It literally felt like a bit of a living room. There was like wood
Yes.
paneling. I could look across to my right, and there was the other, it was off center, which I didn't mind. And it meant I could look across, and there were things for me to look at while I'm flying around. I could leisurely, while I'm going somewhere, I could leisurely enjoy looking around my living space, as it were.
The Python, I agree with you there. The Python is one of the only ships where I will ignore the offset. Like the fact that I'm not central. Because
It
it's
feels
just
like
a
an
lovely
enjoyable
ship.
place to chill and be. And with that Korea cockpit, it demands that you look straight forwards. Look at the target.
Yeah.
Look at the target. That's what it really wants you to do. There's nothing to see left or right. And it's got a great view out the canopy at the top, of course. But yeah, there's like nothing. There's nothing interesting inside the cockpit to look at. So I don't know. The jury's out. I've made it shiny, and I will roll it down the side of a canyon, and we'll see.
I mean, what's not to like about that? That's your MO right there.
Yeah.
Chris, you were saying something about the speed? Chris?
Talking to myself.
Good.
As I do.
When you start talking back, you get worried.
Oh, I spend so much time in rooms talking to myself, you wouldn't believe. But yeah, I wanted to kind of roll back to the top speed where it seems to hit this cap regardless of what thrusters go in.
Mhm.
I did like your argument earlier on, Alec, which is that it means that you can load it up with as much as you want and it'll still keep that.
Yeah, I
cap
would really recommend
speed.
listening to the Loose Cruise podcast. They explain it far better than I did, but it made a lot of sense.
It just doesn't quite click in my brain. I think that's why
Yeah.
I will need to sit and listen and figure it out for myself. But it if it could go that fast, heavy laden, then surely if empty faster? Question mark.
You've got a
how I've
governor
got
built
it in
into your
my-
spaceship just to deal with it.
I mean, I used to drive a 70 limited van, and sometimes there were hills. But it's but I'm in space. Yeah, like we're in space,
I hear
right?
you.
Aren't
I
we?
hear you. Yeah.
Aren't we? I mean, is
We-
the spoiler
yeah.
too big? Have I got too much downforce? What's going on? I don't understand.
We need more spoilers for our spoiler.
I need, yeah.
I didn't do very well at physics. I don't understand any of this. I know. Why when press boost ship not go fast? Why?
Why boost not faster?
Why boost not faster? Why it not quicker when everything is less?
Why not automatically slow down?
That's my brain. Well, that's my physics lessons. That's about as far as I got.
I mean, have I been equipping my ship wrong the whole time? Should I have smaller guns? Should I have big guns? Or should I just have tiny guns and tiny guns kill more? Yes.
So, apparently, this is the only situation where size does not matter. Okay.
It's what you do with it. Like
Okay. Right. Thank you. Thanks for sharing those opinions. I really appreciate that. Right, we were gonna. I think we still can. We had the two. It was 2 ago now. It was 2 Frontier Unlocked ago. They showed us a roadmap with roadmappy kind of things. And with this, like 3 whole more dots on that roadmap that we don't know the answers to everything to. We don't even know all the answers about Vanguards, but we're going to put a pin in Vanguards because we need to know some more information about that. What I thought we could do is do some wild, crazy speculation about what's next and what these other things look like. I kind of like the idea about talking about the ships, and what do we think? I have a very strong opinion about this, but what do we think the next ship is going to be? But that comes out around the same time as Vanguards.
We have sort of skirted around this a bit. I
We
feel
have.
because we talked about it being a massive trade ship that would sort of go well with colonization. But but given it comes out with Vanguards, I almost wonder whether I'm having less faith in that idea now. The idea that they're going to release a big, heavy trading ship that will be good for colonization it'll be too late. We're all going to be bored of colonization by then. So I'm not sure it will be a large hauler, but I'm wondering if it will chime better with what Vanguards is. That doesn't lead me anywhere, though, in my thought processes, I'm afraid.
We don't know an awful lot about. We know the very bare bones amount about Vanguards at the moment. Hey, Colin, what do you think the next ship might be?
Well,
Welcome
actually,
back, mate.
yeah, that was fun. The next ship. Well, actually, I am hoping for a massive cargo vessel because otherwise I can't do half of the colonization stuff I want to do. It has got to the point where I'm looking at some of the things that I've got in my plan, my cunning plan for my system, and I'm there thinking, I can't physically spend that much time transferring that much cargo by myself. It's not like I'm one of those people that can call up minions to help. Unlike other people.
Well,
So,
hey,
hey, I haven't
Just
said
saying,
anybody.
I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm playing a different game, and people are like, "Hey, this one finished, by the way. Great, thanks."
So yeah, I'm actually wanting the next one to be a large cargo vessel or a large vessel that you can fill out in either passenger cabins or cargo. So that's where I would go.
I think
Roughly
so.
how many tons would you like it to be?
Imperial clipper, Imperial cutter size or more.
It would have to be more.
So why not just use the cutter then?
Because I don't have the Imperial rank for one.
And also, we don't have the. It doesn't have SCO stability, so that's why not use the cutter. But also, and I meant to mention this when we were talking about the when I spoke to Alec and Chris Four about the Corsair, was that I could understand more of a reasoning for why you would want the Corsair if you don't have a fleet carrier. I should add that, because I can just go to my fleet carrier and change my ships around, and then we don't. And I know, Colin, you had some thoughts about the Corsair as well. And given the fact that you're back, before we completely pivot, do you want to?
Oh, right. The Corsair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know how last week I was pretty down on it and just couldn't stand it and basically thought it was a waste of money. I was wrong. I've done a complete 180 on it.
Yeah.
I ended up buying it with all the trimmers. I used the last of my just about money and got all the trimmings, so it's the full Stella ship kit. And the reason it's not for the looks, because I hate the beak. So that's the reason I got the ship kit just to get rid of the beak.
That's fair.
But when you actually use it as a power play blockade runner and all the stuff, 90% of the stuff I do in power play, that's what its role is. And yeah, it's been perfect. And I now know that's going to be going forward my power play ship. I know what other people think of it, but I would thoroughly recommend it. If you want a good blockade runner for power play, you can't go wrong with it. So there we are. I'm eating humble pie. It tastes a bit like hat. So yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. So we have, what do we have? We have 3 more ships and another new feature that is due to come out this year, probably beginning of next year, knowing how Frontier works with time. But
what did they say when the was it when the Corsair came out? They said something like this will be the last of the mediums. Did they say that?
They didn't quite say that, but it was certainly implied along those lines. It was the last. It was something along the lines of it being the last medium slot that they have to fill. I believe that was the sort of wording. To which I say, where is my medium passenger cruise liner, Frontier? Where is it? But that's what they said for that. So I don't think we're going to get any more mediums this year for sure. I'm pretty confident on that.
Yeah, I think we're all mediumed out unless they suddenly say, "Oh, here's a passenger liner," which is, let's be honest, that is the one thing that I do think is a big gaping hole. Yeah, that's about it really. I can't see another need for another medium.
Yeah, we've got the medium trader, the medium explorer, and a couple of ships that can do pretty much everything, haven't we? So it's I don't know. The only thing would be the passenger, and the advantage of the passenger ships is normally the extra. You can put this
The luxury liners, luxury cabins.
So I don't know why you wouldn't want to have one of them, which is why I'm a bit surprised that they've said no more mediums.
Which leads me to be like, hey, well, what about what other roles now have we got left to fill? Obviously, there's like a big fighter and a big hauler.
Yeah.
But then what do we have left?
So, sorry.
Oh, go on, Alec. You first.
I was going to say, I don't know which of these, but we could have one with a fighter bay. Haven't had any more fighter bays yet. You know, people kind of thought maybe the Python 2 would have one. People thought maybe the Corsair would have one. So I'm going to put my money on one of these three having a fighter bay.
Okay.
And I also really like the idea of a really small, nimble fighter, something a bit eagle-like or a bit viper-like. I'm trying to think how it could distinguish itself from those. Maybe it doesn't need to. Don't know.
Yeah, I like the idea of having like a super fast sort of small fighter that we could take out. The problem is that you then end up limited with jump range with the smaller ships. Like I think like flying an Eagle through canyons and stuff is really good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is you've got to get it to the damn canyons and it takes ages.
Yeah. I always like the idea. I don't know how they would build this into the game, but you know, in I want to say Attack of the Clones, it was one of the second bunch of Star Wars films, and Obi-Wan had this little ship that had like a little ring
Yes.
that he could leave behind, so he could like decouple from the ring and then go and do zippy round planetary stuff. And then the ring, he kind of docked back with it, and that was his super, you know, his hyper jump drive or whatever.
Yeah,
I quite like the idea. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how they do that in Elite, but I love the idea of a little fighter that's got shitty jump range, but you leave.
What, you take like an SLF, but then you dock with something and it gives it a great big frameshift drive.
You dock with a big frameshift drive, basically, that clips back onto your ship, and then you've got a massive jump range.
I love that idea.
I really like that. I don't know why, but it just really appeals.
It's a sort of like a keelback, but a small ship that has got a fighter. It's got no. That's what it'll be. It's a hauler that has a fighter inside. The hauler's got no weapons or anything like that. It's just effectively one big jump engine, and it can't maneuver or anything like that. The only way you can defend it is by launching the fighter.
Yes. I love that idea. And as Katie says in chat, that would be unbelievably sick and super fucking cool, and therefore will never happen.
I wonder if you could mock up, if Frontiers Tech could mock up a invisible ship essentially that is literally you just all it is the docking part of the ship and an engine.
I'm gonna say I hope
don't
not,
know.
because you know why? Somebody will find a way to spawn them in game and just start blocking up toast racks with invisible ships.
Oh, good lord.
The invisible ship would essentially be a ring, but then the dimensions would be 0 or something. I don't know. I don't know. I love Alex's idea. I'm trying to think of ways that Frontiers Tech could do it.
Yeah, no, it won't happen.
It's effectively it's as Colin said, like a little like a hauler, which is just a jump drive.
Yeah,
and then you have to deploy the fighter from it.
Yeah, but I don't want to. What I'd like to do is avoid the entire fade to black transitions thing.
I don't. I legitimately don't think you can.
I don't think you can either.
So ingrained into Elite that's just a thing that's going to happen.
It would need to be something that even when you docked into it. So you know how when you
remained
fly
in
an
your SLF.
you've got the boxes when you fly in on the SLF, and then it sort of transitions you back to the cockpit. But that transition would need to be in an identical cockpit to what you've got inside the SLF, because then you wouldn't have you'd have a stutter, but you'd be transitioning to the exact same view that you're already seeing, and therefore it would be almost, sort of, not quite, technically seamless.
Yeah.
Well, luckily we're being conditioned to get used to stutters. So.
That's the game plan, man.
Yeah.
Well,
press
actually,
E to
I mean,
board.
as we're discussing fighters at the moment, I'd like to basically have a big ship that's nothing but a carrier.
Hmm.
So I've never done this. I know that we've got. I know you get multiple fighter bays, and you can now have up to 4 people. Has anybody done a full battle wagon where you've got
No.
2 people on a fight? Can you do that? Because
I
that's
don't
one thing.
know.
I think
So you got 1 player in a fighter, 1 in the turrets, and 1 flying the ship. I would love it if they could have all 4 people in fighters, and your NPC pilot flying the ship for you, and just have a massive sort of massive fighter carrier. I think that would be fantastic as one of the ships that comes up.
Yeah.
It would. It
Sounds
would.
really fun.
That sounds like a thing that would. That
And-
may possibly line up with Vanguards.
Yes.
It's coming together.
Yes.
We've got this, lads.
It's not. It's not. It's a Panther Clipper. It's Panther Clipper's the next ship that's coming. You know it. We all know it. Chris 5, you said you had some nonsense ideas for ships. Reel them off for me, my guy.
Okay, so
Chris?
the first one will be a large mining ship that can
Okay.
carry no mining lasers or subsurface extraction things or missiles, because the front of its face will be the Dredger Clan's Nommer.
Oh, right, so
And
we
you
just
will-
literally
Oh, yes.
eats
Yep.
rocks.
You just headbutt asteroids to death.
I love it. Could you also have the option where it's just got big jaws and it just drags the asteroid to the station itself? Is that also an option? All
No,
right, boo.
just
Rubbish.
no.
How about that big nom that could be used on stations you don't like in your colonization thing, and
Why
then
not?
that destroys.
Yeah, why not?
destroys the station.
Yeah.
That's the recycler we all need.
Yeah. The other slightly more sensible one will be the first large combat ship. It will be Alliance. It will be Conqueror. It will have the little flappy engines, and it will zoom around in SEO, and it'll just pew many, many things wonderfully.
Amazing.
And the science wagon, of course, that's the other thing. It won't be a ship. It'll be an SRV, and it's going to be the science wagon.
Well, it did say ship though, didn't it?
I mean, if you throw it hard enough.
I'd be surprised if they. I've said this before. I'd be surprised it's never going to happen. I'd be surprised if they don't continue with the let's fit things which are SEO capable for now. Maybe in like next year, if we get a similar looking thing next year, maybe there might be another SRV in it. We might have to wait another year for our hover bikes, I'm afraid.
And the other one might be a repurposing of the old support ships from fleet carriers that will become the first gigantic class ship, so bigger than a large or a huge, whatever you want to call it, that size, and it will require some sort of mechanism to park outside stations to unload from. And I think they will repurpose the old support ships from fleet carriers.
Interesting,
Because they were pretty much made, weren't they?
Yeah, those were made, and I know that's an idea that David Braben has floated before, where we have these. You have sort of not a fleet carrier size, but sort of a half fleet carrier size, and you basically fill it up by doing shuttle runs in a T9 or whatever it can take, and then jump it. But then wouldn't it have the same problem with fleet carriers where they have to plonk it somewhere and then, yeah. All depends on whether, yeah.
Maybe we'll
Sorry
see
about that.
some
So you got any more?
No, not really. How about a ship which is entirely made of Guardian parts, not a fighter, but a large ship,
An actual ship,
made
yeah.
of Guardian parts with an SEO. Yeah, that's it. And I'm not.
You know what? Can I supplement that? Because I've got a lovely idea for your Guardian part ship. You know how like all the bits of the Guardian fighters and things are all held together by those force fields. What I really like with the Guardian ship is the idea that if you land it on a planet and then you shut down your engines, the ship just falls apart. The ship literally falls apart into a pile of bits, and you're left just sitting on the ground in a chair.
Yep.
And then when you switch it back on again, they all kind of gloom back together again and turn themselves back into a ship.
Or if it's a magnetic, if you pass against a closest sun, just part of your ship drifts off because of the magnetic field.
You lose a piece of your ship to the toast rack. It gets stuck outside, and you're left spinning trying to get onto the landing.
And then you have to fly near it, and then it magnifies back onto the ship again.
Yeah, or you land it on the planet. I come over in my SRV and I steal part of your ship and drive away with it. I love your idea, Alec.
I want that. I want that.
Yeah, I think the most
That's
realistic.
how you assemble your own one, by stealing parts from everyone else.
I think the most realistic one will be a large Alliance combat ship, purposely built. So I'm excluding the Type 10 because that was, as Lakon said, a stopgap for anti-Xenos stuff. So I think this will be the first purpose-built large Alliance Lakon combat ship with the little flappy engines like the thing, so that when you blow them up, it'll just be an even bigger thing spinning around.
Okay, perfect. If we put a pin in ships now, unless anyone else has got any bright, valid ideas.
I've got something, but it kind of ties in with a feature as well.
Okay, that was where I was going to move to next. So Ben, take it away.
Right. Well, the feature I would love for Phase 5 is essentially water worlds and that kind of thing.
Right.
And there's so much things we could do with that. Although we'd obviously need atmospheres, and I know it's not going to happen. But obviously, if we're going with that, then we need to get the Murray Starboat. And we need ships that can actually fly underwater as well.
Well, like the Dolphin Beluga and the other one, the Orca can.
That, if they could fly underwater, that would be amazing.
It says somewhere they're designed for that.
Does it? Oh,
Yeah, it's on like some of the spiel that they're designed for that.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, something that can fly underwater, I think would just be... Yeah, it just adds a... Well, excuse the pun, it adds a layer to it.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna move down the list and ask you all what you might think that the new feature is going to be. Epaphras.
Yes.
I love putting people on the spot. I was like, who am I going to call on? And I did say down the list.
Ooh, let's go with some racing things. So
racing things.
Maybe like it'll be like checkpoints and things, and you can sort of put your waypoints in systems or on planets. Because we've got a little bit of the racing with the construction sites. So
yep.
Yeah, it's close.
Sort of scale that up into something bigger.
They're skirting around racing.
It's like they just sort of they're edging the races something spectacular at the moment. That's the word. It's not full racing because it's not permanent, but it is there. Or it's not permanent at the moment unless we have a button to confirm it. Those kind of things, but it is there.
Yeah, we've got the things you can fly through in CQC and the training.
Yeah, give us more things to build. Maybe no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say maybe the new feature is a rework of colonization after a year. No, I'm not saying that. Okay. Quiz 5.
So, I've been thinking about this. I'm going to address the mammoth in the room. Something to do with on foot. Potentially.
Oh God, can you imagine?
a complete rejigging of Odyssey and missions, I think. Because let's face it, it's just been kind of left in the corner and occasionally poked with a stick.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it could tie into colonization. Maybe we might start to see mission people appear on our ground settlements. Maybe we will be able to design, I don't know, something to do with on foot. Like, I just don't know. It just needs something, I don't know, like scavenging old things, something on foot that I can do with the little cutty thing, other than just open a hatch.
Down. Yeah.
Yeah, something.
Cool.
Yeah, to bring it all together, because it just feels like, and I'll probably get shouted at by somebody for saying this, that Frontier have just given up on the on foot stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get many arguments here, because we would not only a couple of weeks ago we were saying, Frontier did add stuff. They added on-foot stuff. They added the reactivation missions. They added the spire sites during the Thargoid War, and those were two things that were like had on-foot bits. And they don't exist anymore. So they added temporary things. So yeah, that's kind of, I get it. Chris 4.
Oh, I do like Chris's idea of there being sort of salvage stuff. I like the idea of salvage, because it seems like the kind of POIs that they could put in, and I'll maybe slightly build on stealing part of Chris's idea, which would be to have some of that in space, sort of have wreckage and things in space that you can kind of do a more interesting salvage on. Because everything at the moment is kind of, you fire a limpet and you get a certain amount of materials and things back. I think some sort of space salvage would be pretty cool and would tie into sort of material gathering and other bits and pieces that are going to be in there. I love all the ideas everyone's been coming up with. Great.
Yeah. Alec.
I'm going to go with. I've been trying to work out. I've been looking up synonym websites, trying to decide what they would call it. I'm going to call it assignments.
Right.
And it's basically the idea of a reworking of the mission system in the same way that they've reworked Power Play. So that, or maybe sort of a layer on top of it, where it's much more, it's a bit like the chained mission, but it's much more of a, instead of, the missions are all little jobs. Go and do this, come back, go and do this, come back. And I guess there are things in the game where you do something and come back and they go, oh, you've done that well. Now go and do this as a follow-up and come back. But they don't really feel like a whole kind of sequence of things. And I'm thinking something like, we'll call them assignments, but basically it's some sort of week-long project for you to do. They like giving us to-do lists at the moment, so it sort of chimes in with that. So it'll be like, okay, we've got this pirate gang who are way over in the Pleiades system. The first thing we need you to do is go and track down 4 of their operatives. So that would effectively be like 4 separate, the equivalent of 4 current separate missions. You go down and track down those operatives. You go back, that ticks off 1 box on your sort of assignment progress bar. It's like, okay, we've got the intel. Now it turns out we've found, we've used that and we can track down the leader, and they've gone and taken some hostages, so you need to go and free the hostages, and then you scoop them up and bring them back. And quest lines, Naughty Body Watch is saying in chat, something a bit more substantial rather than just these little odd jobs, something that feels a bit more,
I really like that, Alec.
a bit more structured and a bit meatier.
I really, really, really like that.
Is that stealing Elite Dangerous's thing?
Well, I mean, no, because
it'll never be as it'll never be as kind of authored and narrative driven as Elite Dangerous's stuff. There's it'll still be probably procedure generated, because otherwise you won't,
Yeah.
however many you do, you're going to end up, there'll be this fixed set of missions. So that I guess they still need to be a bit proc gen, which means they won't be as narratively elegant as Elite Dangerous stuff. But I just feel like there'd be a bit more, something rather than sort of with missions, you sort of people often take like 4 or 5, don't they? They think,
100%. Yeah.
I've got an hour to play, I'll pick up 4 or 5 missions. Whereas I feel like these would be more like, I've got a week. What can I do this week? I'm going to do one of these, quest lines or assignments.
Or like I've got like 5 hours to actually like sit and devote time to Elite, because like you can get a lot of power play missions done in a period of 5 hours if you properly go for it. But if you pick up like an assignment or a dossier, is another word that I was thinking about when you were talking about that. But like, and then you open that and it's like your dossier has a list of various checkpoints that you need to complete, which is a whole different, includes a whole different sphere of combat. So your on foot stuff, you've got to maybe get like 2 bits of classified data from somewhere, or 2 bits of something from a spot, and then go back and go to a different place, and that classified data, and you get a message going, oh, you've got that's given us the name of these people, this is now unlocks this next bit for you. Oh, I really like that, Alec, which means it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I meant to say that it would absolutely encompass ground and ship as well. It would absolutely, a fundamental part of this would be that it would, some of the steps would be ship based and some of them would be ground based, so it absolutely combines. You made a really good example then, actually, of the thing where and it's kind of a fun mission in a way, where you go down to a ground settlement and you actually have to meet a person. But they always so insubstantial. Like, you fly all the way over there and you meet the guy and he hands you over his keys, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no like
And they're
purpose.
usually
It
rude
feels-
about it as well.
Yeah.
I've been waiting all day here for you.
Yeah. If that was part of something bigger, it would feel much more engaging, I think.
Absolutely.
You'd feel like you were achieving something. That's
Hmm.
never going to happen then.
Never gonna happen. It's another thing that me and Alec have got excited about, and it just will not happen. Colin.
Oh no, I've got a list.
Oh.
Okay, it's going to be quick. Don't panic.
Mhm.
All right. First thing, on foot. I think that the exploration plant scanning needs a pass. I think that needs a pass. But maybe if they add in an extra planet type that we can land on, like volcanic planets, that'd be nice. They were mentioning stuff about volcanoes way back in the day, and I was there thinking, oh, I hope they can do that. I do feel that it might be a rework of Crime and Punishment, because there's
so we could use it.
Yeah, there's that's been one of the big things that everybody. It's one of these things we've all accepted. We're not happy with it. Well, speaking for myself anyway, I'm not happy with it. But going back to the Chris Mark V's idea, how about on-foot salvaging missions where you can enter and explore wrecked ships that are on the ground?
Yeah, like they already do stuff like that in No Man's Sky. That feels like it would be. That feels like it's like tantalizingly just on the cusp of being something that you could do, like fleet carriers maybe.
It's a tip of the tongue, yeah. Because you could also in sort of merge it with sort of ship interiors later down the road, because basically they've worked out the map for the Anaconda, and you always seem to come across Anacondas that have been crashed, depending on the threat level, or sidewinders. It'd be nice to walk around them and cut them apart using the cutter and salvaging bits.
I totally agree. Again, going back to Star Wars, but the very first time, the very first scene in Force Awakens, when she goes into that crashed, massive crashed destroyer, and it's like a sort of Tomb Raider thing almost, where she goes inside and cuts some valuable bits out. We could so nearly do that. I could completely see that being an achievable thing in Elite.
Getting through crashed interdictors and crashed Federal battle cruisers.
Yeah, and
Oh.
we've got the cutter, finding bits you can cut off, and then you take those back and sell them for shitloads. Be amazing.
What about actually landing on fleet carriers that are being decommissioned and actually decommissioning them with your cutter?
100% yes, absolutely, please.
Sorry, I'm thinking.
Can we
I
actually
suppose it's
decommission them,
Hardship
please?
Space Break or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. My one. If I'll just jump in here before we. Looking at the time, we do have to move on. But we can probably revisit this maybe towards the middle of the year and see how we feel about it then. My personal one is it sits within missions, within sphere of combat, within everything, and just like a full overhaul of the BGS would be lovely and make it real time. That's my in the same way that you can see your actions having a immediate effect, well, a pretty instant effect with instant effect with colonization. I'd like to see something along those same lines, having those immediate effects with the BGS rather than it taking its time. So if influence moves and it hits into a conflict, I'd like that conflict to start at that point. But there would definitely have to be a bigger server cap, because what the hell would the status be like if that was going all the way around? Because it would be in the live service part of it would be mental. But if they can do it with colonization, why can't they do it with BGS? But I don't know. That would be my hope, that they figured out how to do that. But first, before they do that, can they fix the stuttering, please? Friends, I'm very aware of what the time is. We do need to do the question of the week. And if you don't know, you're on the question. When we ask the question of the week, we ask the question of the week on a Sunday. It's normally around 2 p.m, around the time when you stop listening to the amazing Chris Mark 4 on Black Diamond FM. And we post this question on our Discord and on Twitter and on Blue Sky. And those this week, our question was, hey, you've had a chance to fly the Corsair now. What do you think about it? And we had quite a few answers, quite a few differing answers. We'll start with Epsilon Orbital, who says, to put it bluntly, it's got a great arse. However, its face looks like a cat that got stung by a wasp. Apart from that, I do quite like its internals, but it doesn't really pertain to my playstyle. Might get it for credits in the future.
Mixelplix73. I'd buy that for $1 or 14. So I did. Trouble is, work has been so busy, I've not had a fly yet. Felt good idling on the pad though, in Polvenic, though, and you can see it, and you can't see the beak while sitting in the pilot's chair. No big deal.
Amen.
Perfect.
Amen.
Okay, and I've got one from the 90s kid. Bought it, it's fast, makes a great ship for organic PvP when you're BGSing or in power play. You can outfit it multiple ways for escape or defense too. It's definitely an open play meta ship that will keep you safe while doing your tasks. Adjust your builds and try it.
Agree with that one.
Nah, you're all right.
Nicey says, I did buy one, and I think what they meant by on rails is that it doesn't drift at all. Sorry. Oh, it doesn't drift at all. PvP wise, its shields are a bit thin, but overly fairly good, and it's quite fun to fly just around asteroids. Would be nice if you could see below a bit more, though.
That's fair. Spheral answer saying, yup, I replaced my Python Mark 1 with the Corsair. Will be used as a medium hauler and or passenger ship, not the top 1%. I tend to use different ships for specific roles.
Yeah, he did a lot of delivering to my one of my bases in the Corsair, and when I was slagging it off, he was saying, yeah, actually, a Corsair did a lot of deliveries for you. I was like, that's great. I hope you enjoyed flying it. As long as I don't have to, it's not a problem.
It's more fun than a Type 10.
Yeah, probably is. Evo Flash says, it's just so beautiful and gracious. It's absolutely my end game ship now. Does almost everything I need in style and with ease. The chrome skin, OMG, chef's kiss. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. I added the I'm done, but it seemed appropriate.
Okay. Yeah. Commander Emberen, I bought 2, and I'm considering a 3rd. As a clipper pilot, I'm apparently the target audience. This is a medium clipper with the hard points positioned perfectly for coal mining. I've never cleared space rocks so fast. The convergence of so many abrasion blasters means it's easy credits and merits.
Has anybody else used it for mining, just out of curiosity?
I've seen other people use it for mining, and they do rave about it.
I get it. I get it. My this is going to sound like genuinely insane, but does it not feel like would it not feel like a waste? Actual question to any miners out there: does it not feel like a waste of a size 3 hardpoint to put like a small abrasion blaster? Because a lot of the stuff is small, isn't it? On mining, I don't know. I just know that the Type 8's built perfectly for core mining.
I see what you're saying. You've got all these big hard points for combat, and you're putting little
dinky
pea shooters.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like I'd be missing out or something from it.
Lots
I
of
don't know.
internals, I guess. So loads of cargo, and obviously
Yeah.
you've got the big refinery and loads of limpets. I can see it being, and the convergence again.
I can see what they're saying though about that whole convergence thing.
Yeah, I need to get this out and do some combat on mining with it.
And the Corsair size rules means that by putting tiny little mining lasers on it, it actually acts like one big massive mining laser.
That's a very good point.
Because that's how Corsair maths work.
100%. That's exactly how Corsair maths worked. And I do know that a lot of people who have spoken to the Corsair, and I feel like I'm defending the Corsair to myself, but people who speak to the Corsair say it works really well with fixed weapons. So it's kind of like, because I build a ship towards what's accessible for me, then there's maybe I'm automatically, because I can't use fixed weapons, maybe I'm putting myself at a disadvantage. It's just not for me. Not all ships are for everyone. Shut up, Claire. It's fine. Commander Jim P says they did, and at first they thought the controller was broken. It splashed out on a Cobra Mark 5 a while ago, which is just daft fun to fly. The Corsair is not daft fun, and as a 6 months new player, they can't engineer it to be any better. Might just turn it into a littleish miner. Yeah. Which I get. And was one of my concerns, was about a new player getting it might be disappointed.
Yeah,
I feel justified. Yeah.
Well, to tell you the truth, we're all disappointed to begin with. It's only when I learned how to fly it properly that I suddenly realised, oh. And then once I found a rule for it, then it was double. Oh.
That's what I was saying at the head of the show. I like it for that. I like it that it's not just an instant win or an instant lose. It's a ship that I think you can definitely grow to love and nurture and turn it into something really great.
I like that the Corsair turns round and says, "No, you're flying me wrong." I think you're incorrect. All right, Commander Daedalus. Jack of all trades and master of none is sometimes better than master of one. It's quite good at most things, so I'm using it as a mission runner in the Imperial rank grade. Great fun and looks cool too.
Cool.
Nice.
I've Commander Mad Dog. I bought one, and so far I found it not living up to the hype. That said, it's a very accomplished ship doing what it says in the tin. And I found myself back in my Cobra 5, far more fun to fly, and can do everything as well. For what it's worth, #Team Beak.
It's questionable.
The Jinx Effect says, I got one while listening to last week's show when everyone was pretty much suggesting it's not worth it. I thought it was fun to fly, and I still love the beak. although you can't walk up to but you can't walk up the ramp on this one.
I did.
Look,
I did it on extreme.
Yeah,
You got
I did last week.
You have to
not in the hangar, but you have to be on a planet so you can jump.
Yeah, you have to jump up that first step, otherwise it won't.
Oh.
But it can also do something exciting and detach itself from the rest of the ship.
It can. It can. When you deploy the SRV, the ship goes up, and then you can't reach the door anymore if you walk up there.
So it's partly Guardian tech, is it?
Yeah, it's got a
Yeah.
guardian staircase.
Yeah. Really frustrating if you leave your keys inside, because then you can't just get out your SRV and go up the stairs. You've got to put the SRV back and get the ship down. It's a right.
Can we clap to get the ship to land properly again?
Ben.
Commander Loki Di Pietro. I have one, and I'm a fan. After engineering, I got around the heat issues in combat with pacifiers. I'm now picturing a Corsair with a dummy in its mouth, and only some thermal. And only some thermal weapons. The Corsair reminds me of a Fer-de-Lance in a small way, due to this need to adopt a particular flying technique in combat. #Team Beak.
Yeah, it's the flying. It's getting that technique that opens the ship up for you.
Commander Schnails says, I bought it, I flew it around a bit, I parked it, and I went back to my other ships. At some point, I'll dig it out again and try and find a use case for it, I'm sure.
I have
Python 2.
I got Zebediah, bought one, outfitted it for forceful acquisitions, flew it around our squad's home base to get a sense of the flight model, and then I parked it, as I've yet had time to engineer it yet. I guess because, guess what? I'm still hauling steel.
Hauling steel. That too. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay. Yes. Commander Faye Sky, lovely Faye, says the Corsair is great. Problem is, Python Mach 2 is just more fun to fly. On the looks department, though, I was flying with my friend in a Hazraz, and she was sporting a Corsair in chrome with blue trails, and I felt like an ugly duckling with my golden Python Mach 2. She was having a blast shooting PAs and ramming enemies. I've tried a frag build and a beam multi-build, and can't say I had much fun so far. The Corsair seems to be a ship that rewards mechanical skill in things like AX and fixed weapons, but I'm not losing all hope yet, though perhaps the short-range laser build could yield some fun results. Now, if only Frontier could buff the maneuverability and top speed of it. Amazing. So yeah, we ask those questions on a Sunday usually. Probably also it might be a little bit late this Sunday because it's bank holiday, but you might have a little bit more time to answer it anyway, so don't worry about that. Has anyone got any other business?
No.
Okay. What we will say, and I'm going to say this because Alec hasn't replied, so I'm just going to say it anyway. We are going to take a week off next week, with it being Easter, so there won't be any show next week. But we will be back the following week, which I think is still before the Frontier Unlocked. So we'll be back the following week. So those of us who are going to PitCon, we'll see you there if you're also going to PitCon.
Grumble, grumble.
I'm sorry. Who is going to PitCon?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Okay, so you'll see me, Apathis, Chris Mark 4 and Alec at PitCon. And yeah, I look forward to it. So we will be back again on the 29th of April before the Frontier Unlocked on the 30th. I wonder what you'll talk about, because I'm not going to be there for that. Right, so let's go to shout outs. Hi folks. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasts on Thursdays from 8:30 p.m. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or for just the audio at radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander who likes a bit of CQC action, you can check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. Those are The Guard Frequency, who also do other space games. For everything you wanted to know about the Corsair, the Loose Screws, and if you don't let the funky music do the talking like I do and you speak French, you can tune in to Elite Dangerous and you can do all of their wonderful bits and pieces on their website as well. Following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Wotherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. Thank you to those who have chipped in on Twitch chat and our in-game commanders. Who have you had join you?
We have had Soka42, Epicris, Ulrich, Octavius, Rocky Star, Rusty Swords, Cool Groove, Hibuki, and Frozen Satsuma.
Amazing. Amazing. Special thanks to Commander Takoso, Jay Trax, and Alan Stroud, who created the music used on the show. And that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you would like to get in touch with the show, then you can find contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. Thank you to Ben.
Good night.
Thank you to Alec.
I'm going to say it's 5 past 9.
It's 27 past, man. It's 27 past. You missed
Damn it.
Thank you to Epaphras.
See you at PitCon.
Thank you to the Quest Mark 4.
Also see you at PitCon.
Thank you to Colin.
This is a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
I know, right?
Thank you.
And special thanks to today's tech specialist, the loveliest Chris out of the 3 Chris's. I am biased. It's Chris Mark 5.
You're welcome, and I won't see you at PitCon.
Okay, I will. Until next time, commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, see you at PitCon.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word.
Space can be loaded.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 15th of April 3311. Harold Gomez, the head of security for the Dan Empire League, has bigger problem with pirates than he first thought. On Thursday last week, he appealed for bounty hunters to come and hunt bounties in the system for which he is head of security, namely Dan, down with a D, and H, and an An. This has always been a 2-week initiative, so Harold wasn't completely in the dark about the scale of the piracy problem he had totally failed to effectively tackle, but it turned out that the pirates were significantly more gluttons for punishment than he had imagined, and the fully engineered A-rated kill warrant scanner wasn't quite as useful as he had imagined, and so he has made changes to the initiative. He has added 2 additional tiers of achievement, so the bounty hunting is likely to continue for the whole 2 weeks, not cease abruptly when the prize pot runs out. And in recognition that the A-rated kill warrant scanner is a power-hungry energy hog that no ship other than the newly released Gutamaya Corsair has the power budget for, the prize for taking part will be augmented to include both A-rated and C-rated scanners, both with fast scan and long-range modifications. To get these, you just need to turn in 1 bounty to Kid Station after signing up, but presumably Harold is hoping that once the smell of blood is in your nostrils, you'll want to do a bit more than that. In addition to the kill warrant scanners, those taking part will also receive paint jobs for the Imperial Clipper and the Cutter, but not the Corsair. For Corsair paint jobs, you must pay in arcs.